Oh. You know what day it is?
What day is today?
It's the day we finally talk about Rankin Bass.
Yeesh!
Oh, so all our childhood memories come flooding this holiday season as we start to watch Rudolph the Rednosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman.
Where are you going, dear Mr. Baggins?
Wait.
We won't have to talk about that.
The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, of course, was a Rankin Bass, but today we are focused on all things Rankin Bass Christmas because
We're talking about Christmas.
at the end of everything, we both agree that
Rankin Bass is the best.
is the best Christmas movies or TV specials of all time.
Ever. Yeah, I've watched
So join us today as we talk about
Rankin Bass.
right after this. Before we get started, please be sure to like
Subscribe.
and leave comments down below. We'd love to hear from you guys because, you know, we couldn't do this without you guys.
And please, do us a favor. Coerce your other friends
Into coming.
and seeing what we do.
So subscribe right here. And don't forget to hit the bell so you'll know when we do new episodes, which is every Tuesday. And then we do second pour on
Friday.
So we do 2 videos a week. So, hey, we're here to hang out with you and entertain and talk about geek stuff, whiskey stuff, and everything in between. Welcome to Whiskey Pop. My name's Jeff.
And I'm Zane.
And today we're talking about what?
Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass.
Yes.
Okay, so some of those watching us today may not be aware of what we mean when we say the words Rankin Bass. Would you like to bring them up to speed?
2 individuals with last names of Rankin and Bass. They created the pinnacle of Christmas movies
In specials, right?
and specials. It didn't have to be a movie because technically Rudolph was a TV special.
If you've seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer during this time of the year, or Santa's
Yes.
Coming to Town, or Frosty the Snowman, or I dare say maybe a couple of afternoon cartoons when you came home from school, which we will talk about later today. But first and foremost,
We have some whiskey to partake of.
we have some whiskey to partake. And I would dare say that this is a whiskey that is rare for some people.
Yeah, it actually may be.
Because it's in our area.
Yes.
It's probably not in everybody's area.
Yes.
So I'm sure many of you are aware of, like, what's a good example?
Fireball.
Fireball. So in our area, there's a new whiskey called
Oilfire.
Oilfire, and
That's
it is a rye whiskey and liqueur. So it is a flavored whiskey, much like Fireball and some of those other flavored whiskeys.
It has a different nuance, but yes, for sure.
So this one's a little different too, and so we thought we'd try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when in Oklahoma,
Do as Oklahomans do.
and we drink whiskey.
But first you gotta smell it.
Let's smell it.
See, you smell the caramel,
Yeah, it has.
like almost like caramel corn, like not caramel corn, but like caramel popcorn.
I'll tell you, it's like caramel popcorn.
It's caramel popcorn.
Caramel popcorn with nuts.
Yeah. Now,
And yeah, like that's exactly what it is.
yeah, I was when this first came out and I was actually drinking it. I was new to bourbon and had only been a really solid Scotch drink.
So it's kind of an entry into bourbon for you.
A little bit of it, yeah. And
Okay.
I knew right away that it wouldn't be something I could drink all the time because it's just too sweet.
It is really. And it smells sweet, right?
Oh yeah.
And it feels sticky if you get some on your hands.
Oh, it's off the charts.
Clearly, the liqueur part is there.
Yeah,
it's off the charts, sweet. So
All right, let's try it. That's good.
I'll tell you what. I think I just drank a pecan praline
I'm saying it is
with a little
straight
bit of
up
kick.
caramel popcorn, like
Oh yeah.
if you went
Cracker
to
Jacks.
you went to the kiosk where they're making it fresh.
Yeah. Is there like a little gift in this or something you get when you drink half of it?
Yeah, like a little ring.
Like a bottle of Cracker Jacks.
Or a tattoo.
That's right. That would be great.
No, okay.
Okay, so Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass.
Rudolph the Rednosed Reindeer, right?
That's just one of many, and they didn't stop there. And
They started there.
but they've gotten so much better with their skill sets.
They did.
and
So
everything.
what? Rudolph the Rednosed Reindeer, 1964.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You're still today watching a cartoon from 1964 and still held as probably one of the greatest Christmas classics of all time.
Yeah, sure.
They even remastered it recently to where it's like 4K. Look like
Yeah.
they just made it yesterday.
And it's one of those things that when it comes to like movie props, for instance, only in recent times has props from movies actually priced up really high, outside of like say Star Wars or the big legacy movies.
Mm-hmm.
But it's next to impossible to get anything from Rankin Bass.
That is true. Every once in a while they'll come out with a toy line, and that toy line's gone like this.
Yeah.
And it's like just like this little Bumble I got here. I bought this thing like 20 years ago, and I just curious this week. I got online to look, and eBay he sells for like $200-300.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah. You're like, and we'll not be carrying him out any. But you have a point, and it's so much pop culture that even Funko Pop, for instance, they create figurines, and obviously, but that's what I'm saying. It is carried over beyond just what the show is. It's because people want to digest it regularly. They want to have more, and that's because it was so special.
and I think they created iconic characters, so everybody knows who the Bumble is, and everybody knows who Santa Claus and Rudolph the
Right.
Red-Nosed Reindeer is. But it went even further. So like Heat Miser and Snow Miser.
The Little
and
Drummer Boy.
The Little Drummer Boy. I mean, they took the song The Little Drummer Boy and made a full-fledged, cartoon out of it.
Yeah.
And they take Frosty the Snowman,
Mm-hmm.
and they made a full-fledged classic cartoon out of it.
Yeah.
Have you seen anybody do another Frosty the Snowman outside of Rankin Bass?
The point being, why would you even watch that?
Exactly.
It's because they've done such a good job.
And then like Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey.
Right.
So I mean, one thing I do know, a few years back, they found, I guess it would have been an employee from Rankin Bass who somehow, some way ended up with a Rudolph and a Santa Claus puppet from the original show, right?
Yes, they did.
So that kind of stuff was just thrown away when they were done.
Yes.
It was just tossed away like it was just trash. So this person took it back to their house because they got thrown away, and they put it in their attic. Well, their family came across it recently and found it, and of course it was deteriorating and it looked like crap. We'll put some pictures right here so you guys can see it.
It's actually.
But then they went and they spent a ton of money restoring these because of how important it is to pop culture to have these pieces. And now they're like pieces of art, and I think they're sitting in the Smithsonian now.
They are considered priceless. You can put a price on them. Unrestored, I think they were hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
But the point is more so is because of the little tiny thing called nostalgia.
It has a lot of impact on people, doesn't it?
It changed something that's just simply like you said, it's just an armature puppet.
I mean, you clicked on this episode today because you saw the words Rankin Bass more than likely, or you just know that we're just two crazy old guys.
No, well, there is that. I mean, one crazy old guy and a crazy not quite as old guy by a few years.
So anyway.
What are we talking about, 3 years here?
So, and they didn't stop at Rudolph. They also did the Little Drummer Boy.
Yes.
Santa Claus is coming to town. And then they established Santa Claus's origin story.
The Year Without Santa Claus was a big one.
That was one with Heat Miser and Snow Miser. And Mrs. Claus had to go out and convince Santa that people still believed in him and wanted Santa Claus. And all of a sudden, he got enough Christmas spirit. He was healthy again. I feel fit as a fiddle again, Ma.
But, I mean, when we're talking about, like, new art and the influences of things that are happening today, Rankin Bass is huge. I mean, one of the greatest current shows, as you were talking about, is
Elf.
Elf is the one.
So if you go on Netflix right now, Netflix just released their Christmas in the movies that made us. So basically, it's 2 episodes of Christmas movies, and they talk about Elf.
Yeah.
And so within that, though, they talk about how they had a problem finding directors for Elf. They had a hard time getting New Line Cinema to sign up for Elf in the first place. You find a director and we'll talk. Well, they found somebody, of course, in the form of Jon Favreau, which, of course, is also the director and writer of
of The Mandalorian.
Okay, there we go.
Along with, Dave Filoni, who happens to be,
the savior of Star Wars.
Yeah. Although by himself is a force to be reckoned with.
So it was the same thing. Same thing. It was when he came in to do Elf. He's like a nobody director. They brought him in. They said the first meeting he walked into the room, he said, I have 3 things I want to do with this movie. And the first thing he did, though, before he said those 3 things, he laid down the book. And it was a Rankin Bass book. He's like, I want the movie to look like this.
I mean, Buddy the Elf.
He's basically one of the elves from Rankin Bass.
I mean, he might as well be a dentist.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
He's a misfit. Right?
Yeah, it is so great. And just his whole character is him being a misfit.
And that's the whole point to it. I mean, they said even when they went to design the North Pole, they went back and looked at Rankin Bass and go, oh, in Rankin Bass cartoons, all the background was black and white, so that all the colors stood out. So they made all the sets black and white and gray in the movie for that same purpose. So later they ran into just like some legal trouble from Rankin Bass.
Right.
Go figure. And they were like, the lawyers are coming in the room. They're like, hey, so how much of this did you use of Rankin Bass to, get this? And they're like, all of it?
The thing is like, even if you're not a Will Ferrell fan,
this is one of Will Ferrell's best.
Or a Peter Dinklage fan.
Yeah, there's some of the best movies from these guys.
Elf is a movie. It's a standalone on its own, and but what I'm getting at is its influence from Rankin Bass.
Yeah.
Is why.
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's the next Chevy Chase movie for Christmas.
Yeah, and think about this. I mean, for you guys, of all the Christmas cartoons and Christmas movie specials that are on TV every year, does one of these fall into your top 5 or your number 1?
Yeah.
And I would dare say, I bet most of you list these as some of your favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Even I for instance, I know for a fact there is a person that is a very good friend of mine who does not like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
You can't have friends like that.
Who does not like, Santa's Coming to Town? They think they're childish. However, their quote-unquote favorite Christmas movie is Elf.
Oh, and it's based on Rankin Bass.
So, it's like, yeah, baby! Oh! And, so that's the thing. It has spanned generations, literally. They had all the animation stuff, too.
Yeah, that's right. They did all these animated Christmas films as well. Like Frosty the Snowman was an animated film.
I mean, that's a classic.
And, the cricket on the hearth, and 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which the mice.
Yes.
And Frosty's Winter Wonderland, where he marries his wife, I think, if I remember right, or meets his wife. What's her name?
Yeah. It would be interesting to see how deep of a rabbit hole that Rankin Bass actually goes.
I'll tell you how deep it goes. So it is Tuesday afternoon. You leave school, right? You're going home and you're gonna watch those 2 hours of cartoons before dinner, right?
Sure.
And all of a sudden, this team of heroic cats come onto the screen, and it has one of the best theme songs of all time.
Bullshit!
Da-da-da-da-da!
But you're lying to me, really?
Rankin Bass is the driving force for Thundercats and Silverhawks.
Oh, come on!
If you go back and look at all the first season of Thundercats, it is literally all the Rankin Bass cartoon animators animating Thundercats. The Burbles, any of the guest characters that come on.
My mind is blown.
The music that's playing in the background is very similar to the Hobbit stuff from Rankin Bass and the Lord of the Rings cartoons from Rankin Bass. It is a Rankin Bass cartoon. And so was Silverhawks, by the way. So, Rankin Bass had more impact on it than you think.
I'm gonna go in a coma.
I know, is that crazy?
I already knew I liked it.
Now you know why. It's Rankin Bass. So, if Rankin Bass is too childish for you, I'm sure the Thundercats can fill that hole.
If
or at least Shatara can.
She's the Thundercat ho. Thundercats ho!
So,
are we not talking about Shatara anymore?
We can't talk about Shatara because this is not a kids channel, but
no.
We're an equal opportunity geek channel.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So, it goes both ways.
Yeah,
Some people love Lion-O.
Lion-O.
All right, so I got to thinking. We've done Christmas Vacation this month.
Yeah, we have.
We had a hard time coming up with something to do for this one.
Oh no! Now you're talking about some tomfoolery.
You threw out the idea that in Christmas Vacation, Clark Griswold was desperate to find a pool.
God.
You see, you threw it out there.
Look, it's winter time.
It is-
Winter time.
And it's like 20 something degrees outside right now. You know I don't know how to swim, Clark. I know that, Eddie. So I'm thinking we need to up the ante on our whiskey reviews this year. So we need to do more like maybe rye reviews. We haven't done a lot of rye reviews, and we haven't done any, like barely any Scotch reviews. So I think we need to do a little bit more of that too. What do you think?
Yeah. That sounds good.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
You know, then I was thinking we'll get 12 ninjas and they'll be juggling shaven monkeys while they're shooting fireball. I think that'll work.
Yeah, those monkeys.
Monkeys, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I think we'll have you skydive out of an airplane attached to a giant purple gorilla with 6 nipples while dressed as John McClane from Die Hard as you're singing tunes from Phil Collins.
Phil Collins is awesome.
You're pretty awesome.
Phil Collins.
David, what's wrong, man? You seem distracted.
It's this holiday season. Christmas this year, I'm just stressed out. Just stressed out over it. Wish we could just get on to summer so we can chill out at the pool, have some whiskey. You know.
I hear you, man. I mean, Christmas time is stressful for everybody, so hey, relax. 2020's almost over. 2021's almost here. We'll have plenty of time for the pool. And all this stuff will be over with. Speaking of water, I need to go take a pee. I'll be right back. What are you doing? Dude, are you still stressed out?
Shitting bricks.
Shit. You probably shouldn't say that.
Sorry. Shitting rocks.